Following series of classes is sponsored by Anonymous Donor in honor of our campaign this coming Wednesday and Thursday, and they will all be on the topic of societal breakdown before Moshiach comes. If you would like to contribute to our campaign for our kollel to produce poskim for Klal Yisrael, you could write to me at dytravis613@gmail.com. dy like Daniel Yaakov Travis 613@gmail.com. Chazal tell us it's the Gemara at the end of Soto. We've spoken about it many times. We'll try to give new insights into it today. That before Moshiach comes, there will be 19 attributes which will be prevalent in the world. And the Mishnah lists these 19 attributes. And before listing them, the Gemara says, and after listing them, the Gemara says, that we will have nothing to rely on except for Avinu Shebashamayim. Ein lanu lishan el Avinu Shebashamayim. I believe that a song was even made out of this. Ein lanu lishan el Avinu Shebashamayim. In an event, I won't sing. I won't pain you with my voice. What does this mean that we'll have nothing to rely on except for Avinu B'Shamayim? What does it mean to rely on Avinu Shebashamayim? And the explanation, I believe, is as follows. Hashem has many, many names. The most used, the strongest name of Hashem is Yud Kei Vav Kei Havaya. We don't pronounce it. We read it as Adnus, Aleph Daled Nun Yud. That means our master. In the Beis HaMikdash, right over here, when we have a Beis HaMikdash, Ezrat Hashem, should be soon. It was pronounced by the Kohanim during, to some extent, it was pronounced during Birkas Kohanim. It was only really said properly in the Kodesh HaKadoshim on Yom Kippur by the Kohen Gadol. That was one name of Shem, Yud Kei Vav Kei. We also have the Shem Elokeinu. The name of Yud Kei Vav Kei represents strict divine justice. The name Elokeinu represents din, represents judgment. And the concept here is that the way we refer to God, the way we refer to Him is the way we relate to Him. Right? If we refer to Him as Yud Kei Vav Kei, as Adni, as our master, that is a endearing way to address God. That we have a close relationship, He's our master. We can feel our presence and His presence in our life, and we can connect Him in that way. But when we refer to Him as Elokeinu Din, then we understand that He judges us. That's why every bracha we have, Bracha to Hashem, Elokeinu Melech Olam, right? We address Hashem as Yud Kei Vav Kei, as Adni, and we also address as Din. It's a dual relationship. Avinu Malkeinu. He's our Father, and He is also our Master. He acts with us with mercy, but acts also with us with strict judgment. The Mishnah tells us, the Gemara at the end of Sota tells us, there'll come a time, which we're in now, right? Whoever has eyes in their head can see that we're in this period now, right? Ein lanu lishan el Avinu Shebashamayim. We'll have nothing to rely on except for our Father in heaven, Avinu Shebashamayim. The reason that God at that time will be called Avinu Shebashamayim is because the world will get into such a state of chaos that it will look like God's involvement here is basically finished. It will look like He has completely left His influence in the world. I was just sent some articles yesterday about what's going on in California, about these flash flood robberies. 50 people coming in at a time to stores and stealing in mass. $100,000, $300,000, and there's really not too much that they're able to do about it, at least at the current time. There's a sign of the times when society starts to break down, when the laws that keep society going start to break down, then it is a sign that God's influence in the world, or to be said more properly, the recognition of God's influence in the world is weakening and weakening, weakening, and that means we're closer and closer to Moshiach. That's what it means. Ein lanu lishan avinu shebashamayim. The natural understanding and recognition of God's presence in this world is weakening. Right? About 100 years ago, maybe a drop more, maybe a drop less, if someone would suggest that God did not create the world, that man comes solely from apes, he probably would have been put in jail, or maybe a little more than 100 years ago. It would be considered heretical. There was a clear understanding of God and his influence in the world. Today, if you teach that in schools, probably be put in jail. It's probably considered to be forced religion or something like that, or at least inaccurate. There was one writer wrote to me when I aired Rav Moshe Sternbach's opinion on evolution. He said, it's clear that you were dropped on your head as a child. Now, it is true that when I was 3, my brother hit me over the hammer when he was 2. It's true, but I don't believe that reflects on Rav Moshe Sternbach's opinion on evolution. That we'll leave it at that. But the point is like this: Avinu ein lanu lishan el avinu shebashamayim means that God's presence will slowly disappear from the world. Not his presence, the recognition of God's presence, and it'll come to it'll come to a situation of complete chaos. And we're getting closer and closer to that situation. And we're going to speak about this more, B'ezrat Hashem, in the upcoming classes. Keep tuned. And again, please donate to our campaign at dwighttravis613@gmail.com. Send me a letter and we'll send you the link. You should all have bracha and tzlacha. Amen.